The Nintendo 3DS. Without a doubt, the 3DS is one of the most beloved Nintendo systems of all time. Even today in 2024, there is still such a strong community around the 3DS. And it's honestly not that surprising because the 3DS is home to some of the best games Nintendo has released in the past couple of decades. The 3DS is home to certified bangers such as Mario Kart 7, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Smash Bros. For 3DS, which by the way was the first time the series was even available on a handheld system, and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, and A Link Between Worlds. Plus, it also has a heap of special edition system variations, which is actually what we're going to be talking about today, because I love special edition systems. So, in today's video, we are going to be looking at all of the 3DS limited edition systems and placing them into one of three categories. They will either go into the good, the bad, or the ugly. And just to quickly clarify, this video will only be focusing on the base 3DS Special Edition systems, because I quickly realized when making this video that there is an ungodly amount of Special Edition systems across all of the 3DS family, and it's just too much for one video, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this up into various different videos. This one's focusing on the base 3DS. I'll make another video in the near future doing the 3DS XL, and then further down the line, we'll eventually get to the 2DS, the new 3DS, the new 3DS XL, and the new 2DS XL. But yeah, today's just focusing on the base 3DS. So, let's get into this. The Legend of Zelda 25th Anniversary 3DS. Looking at the outer shell of this system, it's got some nice minimalistic gold Zelda artwork across the borders of the outer shell, and it's got the Triforce symbol in the lower middle there. And overall, I do like this system. However, for a Zelda limited edition system, I do feel like it's on the weaker end. However, don't get me wrong on this, it is still a good limited edition system. The other thing I really like about this system is that when you open it up, all of the buttons have this really nice gold highlight to them, because as you'll see as we go through this list, one of the downsides to the 3DS special editions just on a whole is that most of them don't have any detail or differences in the design of the inner shell. However, this system is one of the few that actually does it, so without a doubt the Zelda 25th Anniversary 3DS is going in the good. The Dragon Quest Monsters Limited Edition 3DS. So I'm not a Dragon Quest guy, but from what I can see here, we have got a few blobs on a white 3DS, and without knowing what that blob is, or what its relevance to the Dragon Quest franchise is, I actually think this looks really cute. I quite like all of the blobs just splattered across the face of the 3DS shell here. However, I will say that I wish it didn't have the text up the top there. I think it would look even better if it was just all of these blobs across the outer shell with absolutely no text. But anyways, if you open this system up, it's just this. There's nothing special about it. It's just a base 3DS model on the inside, so we'll skip over that. But just looking at the outer shell, this one is going in the good. The SD Gundam G Generation 3DS. I apologize guys, but I have never played this franchise and know absolutely all about it, but nonetheless, I'm gonna give my opinion on this. And looking at the outer shell of this system, I think it looks dope. It's got three black silhouetted figures on there with really long shadows for some reason, and then text that reads, "In a war, to keep the upper hand, you have to think 2 or 3 moves ahead of the enemy." I mean, that's probably a little bit edgy for my liking, but nonetheless, the actual artwork on the 3DS shell itself is dope. And opening up the system, it looks exactly the same as the inside of a red 3DS, so nothing to really talk about there. So overall, I'm gonna put this one just in the good. I was really close to putting that in the bad, but I'm putting it in the good. The Monster Hunter Tri 3DS. So this is a white 3DS with a little bit of Monster Hunter artwork on the outer shell here. I will say that the white and the red contrast really nicely together, and I do like the artwork on the left hand side of the shell. However, I don't know if it's the font or something else, but the text on the right hand side, or the logo on the right hand side, just doesn't look like it belongs there. I feel like if you just took the logo off, it would look so much better, but I don't know, the logo is just a bit of an eyesore for me. Opening it up, it's just a white 3DS. So taking all of that into account, it's definitely got some good things, but it's also got some ugly things, so I'm putting it in the bad. The Fire Emblem Awakening 3DS. I love this system. The deep blue color they've used is really nice, and the artwork just complements it all as well. I don't know, the sword and the two dragons look badass. Opening up the system, there's no additional art in the inside, but I believe the blue color is unique to this system. I might be wrong on that, but I think that's the case. But overall, there's not too much to look at here either. But based on this awesome outer shell, I'm putting it in the good. The Kingdom Hearts 3D 3DS. So the outer shell of this system is some black silhouetted artwork of various things to do with Kingdom Hearts. I don't know, you've got a crown, you've got Mickey, you've got a love heart, and I'm not sure what the other things are there, but they're just little cute designs on the outer shell. And in the left-hand corner, you've got the Kingdom Hearts logo, and for some godforsaken reason, there is the Disney copyright there as well. Why did they put that on the shell of the 3DS? It just ruins it for me. And opening it up, it's just the same as a plain old black 3DS, so f*** that, this one's going in the ugly. The Monster Hunter 4 3DS. When you look at this is actually very similar in design to the Monster Hunter Tri 3DS. You've got the artwork on one side and the logo on the other side. However, I think this one looks much better. Firstly, looking at the colors, the light blue base and the white on the artwork contrast really nicely and just look pretty good in my opinion. The monster on the right, I'm not really sure what that is. It kind of looks like a little lizard guy with a unicorn horn on it and big wings. I don't know what you would call that, but that monster looks pretty badass there, and the logo itself actually looks good here, in my opinion. I think it fits really well, and the little triangle pattern under it kind of ties it into the artwork on the right-hand side really nicely. Again, like every system other than the Zelda edition so far, there's nothing to look at on the inside of this one, so based on the outer shell artwork, I'm gonna put this one in the good. The Heroes of Ruin 3DS. Now, from my understanding, this is one of the rarest 3DS systems ever. I don't think many of these ever actually made it onto store shelves. And there's actually a pretty interesting story behind this, because for the longest time, the only images available of this system were what you're seeing on your screen right now. However, it turns out that this wasn't the final design, and the actual Heroes of Ruin 3DS looks like this. Now, they're not that different from each other. The overall design style of the system remains pretty much the same. However, you can definitely tell that there are some pretty key differences, particularly in the design of the symbol in the middle of the outer shell. And the only reason we even have this image is because of just how strong the 3DS community is itself, because this was actually posted on the 3DS subreddit, and from what I can see, it is the only image that actually exists of this system, and someone was kind enough to actually share it with the 3DS community on Reddit, and that's the only reason we can even see what this looks like at the moment. Anyways, even though this system is extremely rare, I don't think there's anything too great about it. It's definitely not awful, but it's not amazing either, so it's going in the bad. The Metal Gear Solid 3DS. This system rocks. It is just a 3DS with a textured snakeskin pattern on the outside. There's nothing else to it. It's just that, but it's just so unique compared to anything else on this list. It really does stand out. So for those reasons, this one is going in God tier. The New Love Plus Rinko 3DS. I've got no idea what this is from, but the actual design itself is some really nice artwork. I love that the artwork is in portrait mode on the 3DS. I think it's really unique in that way. And when you look at videos of this 3DS online, I just love how metallic and shiny it is. And I think the black and white art style along with the dark blue highlights look really nice. So even though I don't really know much about this one at all, I just think that based on appearance, it looks really nice. So it's going in the good. The Dora Kazoo 3DS. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. This is another franchise I know very little about. And you may have noticed that in this video, this is the case for quite a few of these systems. And I think the reason for that is because the majority of the limited edition 3DSs appear to be Japanese exclusives. Not all of them are, but there's definitely a large amount of them that appear to be. So I'm not fully around all of these game franchises that they're based off of. And that is definitely the case with this one. I can confirm that I have never played a game with this little blue dude in it. So either way, I do like the color of this 3DS, and I think what they're going for with the art style is nice. It kind of reminds me of the Pikachu Game Boy Advance in that it's basically just the mascot character for this game, kind of encapsulating the whole outer shell for this artwork. And I think it looks pretty good. So despite me knowing pretty much f*** all about this, it's going in the good. The Cororo Comics 35th Anniversary 3DS. I just look at this and I feel like there's too much going on here. There's just a lot coming out at you and it's a bit overwhelming to my eyes, so I don't know, I don't think it's the best design we could have seen here. I can't quite put my finger on exactly why I hate it so much, but there's just a lot of shapes splashing out at you and then this really small text which is all in different fonts and it's kind of small and hard to read. I don't know. It's going in the ugly. The Club Nintendo Mario 3DS. So this 3DS pretty much has the design of Mario's overalls on the outer shell, and it's pretty bare bones, pretty basic, and of all of the things about Mario, I feel like his overalls are kind of a weird thing to focus the whole design around. But with that being said, it's definitely not an ugly design, and it's quite nice to look at in my opinion. Opening it up, it's just a bare bones basic 3DS, so we won't even talk about that, but overall, this is okay. I feel like for a Mario 3DS, it probably could have been a lot cooler, so for that reason, it is going in the bad. The Club Nintendo Peach 3DS. This one kind of follows the same footsteps as the Mario one we just looked at. However, I think it's a lot better for one important reason, and that is that this 3DS really does take the most iconic things about Princess Peach and applies it to the special edition system. Because whilst Mario's overalls aren't necessarily the most iconic thing about the character, I think Princess Peach's outfit is the most iconic thing about her. So this definitely works a lot better, and I actually really like the base pink color they've used here on the 3DS itself as well. I think it looks really clean, so this one is going in the good. The Club Nintendo Toad 3DS. Now, they did this one right. The mushroom pattern on the Toad is by far the most iconic thing about them, so the fact that this takes up the outer shell on the Toad version makes heaps of sense, and overall the minimalistic Mario mushroom design on the outside looks really clean. So the Club Nintendo Toad 3DS is going in God tier. And yeah, that wraps up today's video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It would definitely mean a lot to me if you could do that. And I've also made other videos on the Game Boy Advance SP's limited edition systems, as well as the Nintendo Switches. So if you want to see more videos like this one, just click on the links on the screen. Anyways, I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.